the lengths and the sophistication that others thieves will go to steal money from others, it's crazy. And if you've ever received those calls that are disguised as local calls, people trying to scam you, the text messages, the emails, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But now it's gone to a whole nother level, and it's crazy to just see that even our federal government cannot keep up and fully protect us and put an end to these scammers. And it's going on with college financial aid. They're using AI now to steal financial aid, and you'll be surprised when we get to the dollar amount. It was an unusual question coming from a police officer. Heather Brady was napping at home in San Francisco on Sunday afternoon when the officer knocked on her door to ask had she applied to West Arizona Western College. She had not, and as officers suspected, somebody else had applied to Arizona community colleges in her name to scam the government into paying out financial aid money. This is crazy. When she checked her student loan servicer account, Brady saw the scammers hadn't stopped there. A loan for over $9,000 had been paid out in her name, but to another person for coursework at a California college. She says, I just can't imagine how many people this is happening to that have no idea. Gosh, I wonder, is it happening to me? Is it happening to you? The rise of artificial intelligence and the popularity of online classes have led to an explosion of financial aid fraud. Fake college enrollments have been surging as crime rings deploy ghost students, chatbots that join online classrooms and stay just long enough to collect a financial aid check. In some cases, professors discover almost no one in their class is real. Students get locked out of their classes they need to graduate as bots push courses over their enrollment limits. That's crazy. And victims of identity theft who discover loans fraudulently taken out in their names must go through months of calling colleges, the Federal Student Aid Office, and loan servicers to try to get the debt erased. Insane. On Friday, the Educational Department introduced a temporary rule requiring students to show colleges a government issued ID to prove their identity. It will apply only to first time applicants for federal student aid for the summer term, affecting some 125,000 borrowers. And they're looking into something else for the fall. But just look at this as we get into the just how big of a problem this is. The rate of fraud through stolen identities has reached a level that imperils the federal student aid program, the department said in its guidance to colleges. Millions of dollars we're talking about. An AP analysis of fraud reports obtained through a public records request shows California colleges in 2024 reported 1.2 million fraudulent applications, which resulted in 223,000 suspected fake enrollments. These people are bold. Other states are affected by the same problem, but with 116 community colleges in California, it's a particularly large state. Criminals stole at least 11.1 million in federal 11.1 million dollars in federal, state, and local financial aid from California community colleges last year that could not be recovered. Gosh, that is a lot of money. We drop down here. Scammers frequently use AI chatbots to carry out the fraud, targeting courses that are online and allow students to watch lectures and complete coursework on their own time. Now look at some of these other numbers here. Look how it's just the fraudulent application enrollments, and this is just California. This is just California. Like, wow. This is insane. Just a little bit more here. Read about this one. In January, Wayne Chaw started getting emails about a class he never signed up for at Dianza Community College, where he had taken the coding classes a decade earlier. Identity thieves have obtained his social security number and collected 1395 in financial aid in his name. The energy management class requires students to submit a homework assignment to prove they were real, but someone wrote submissions impersonating him, likely using a chatbot. This person is typing as me, he says. My first and last name. It's very freaky when I saw that, said Shaw. The fraud involved a grant, not loans, so Shaw himself did not lose money. He called the Social Security Administration to report the identity theft, but after 5 hours on hold, he never got through to a person. Now that's a whole nother issue with our government not being as efficient as we need it to be. But going back to this first person, we'll end it here. The first person that the story started with, who got this call, the call from the police, she says, I'm just nervous that I'm going to be stuck with this, Brady said. This agency, the agency is going to be so broken down and disintegrated that I won't be able to do anything. And I'm just going to be stuck with those $9,000 in loans. And so, yeah, there she is. And there's another picture of her, Brittany Nelson. And so, yeah, it's just called. No, that's not her. But anyways, the initial person, yeah, Heather Brady, she was called out of the blue, and they discovered, hey, there's a $9,000 loan in your name, and so yeah, I would be concerned too if they were going to stick me with that bill, even though it wasn't her fault. But this is just I had no idea that this is going on, but this is just a reminder to each and every one of us to just make sure we protect our information as much as we can, guard our social security number, because once they get that, there's just no telling the damage that they can do. So cautionary tale, everyone, protect yourself.